the FBI and DOJ, where there has been a kind of internal review of anyone who investigated the convicted sedition and attacks on the Capitol on January 6th. So the DOJ is basically involved now under Trump with trying to not only investigate the investigators, but oust people who helped protect against and enforce against one of the worst attacks in the Capitol in our history. Several fired January 6 prosecutors were seen also entering the U.S. Attorney's Office today, returning materials. Senate Democrats say this is a national security threat, meaning, as you heard Chris Christie say, in addition to it being wrong and against the rule of law, it also disables clearly necessary national security functions without a plan to replace them. And lawyers for ousted officials are saying that there will be a response to this assault on national security, and they will continue to object to this legally through all available legal means, which could involve suing the Trump administration. We have a very special guest now, former federal prosecutor Brendan Billow, who was involved in the January 6 cases and resigned in opposition to the pardons for so many of those January 6 convicts. He writes in the New York Times, "I prosecuted the Capitol rioters. They have never been more dangerous." Welcome, Brendan. Your response to those pardons, as you wrote about, and what appears to be an effort now to kind of aid fugitives, criminals, convicts by the Trump administration within federal law enforcement.
Yeah, it's obviously extremely concerning for two reasons. One is the pardons themselves, which I believe have the purpose and effect of empowering vigilantes and militias that are loyal to the president, but ultimately unaccountable to the law. But we have a new layer of problems now, which is these political firings of January 6 prosecutors. These folks prosecuted these cases, righteous cases, despite the political risks, despite the professional risks, and they did so with enormous honor. So the concern here is that this is an effort to purge the Department of Justice of people that are politically independent and install folks that are loyal not to the rule of law, but to the president.
Mm-hmm. You say vigilantes. Your view is that having freed some of the worst of the worst, people who attack police and everything else we've covered, that they could, in their mind, act again violently, for example, in a federal context or on a federal jurisdiction, and expect to never go back to prison at all.
Yeah, well, we can expect them to act violently because they've said that they may act violently. Enrique Tarrio, the founder of the Proud Boys, or the leader of the Proud Boys, said after his release that success is retribution and, quote, now it's our turn. Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman that's sort of iconic in so many images from January 6th, said on his release that he was going to buy guns. And another person associated with January 6th said that not only would he attack the Capitol again, he would form a militia for President Trump, and he would die for President Trump. So I think it's almost a certainty that this sort of vigilante or militia violence is in our future.
Wow. And that's saying something because you've been in it and you've dealt with these cases. You know things many people don't even know from that process. As for the DOJ where you worked, I want to show Pam Bondi, who disclaimed the talk of an enemies list that's been attributed to Trump's FBI pick, and his far more sort of broad or evasive answer.
There will never be an enemies list within the Department of Justice.
When Trump wins in 2024 and is in power in 2025, we can prosecute them.
You're reading a partial statement, so I'm unable to fully respond.
It's been referred to as an enemies list. You've called them deep state.
It's not an enemies list. That is a total mischaracterization.
What do you think of those responses under oath, Brendan?
Well, obviously, whether these people were on the enemies list or not, it seems to be the intention of this administration to purge law enforcement and the Justice Department of their perceived enemies. I think the good news, such as it is that the administration seems to be doing so rather ineptly. One thing you really can't do in firing a government employee is to do so because of their political beliefs. Well, in the letters that these prosecutors received, it explicitly said that they were being fired because they worked on the January 6 cases, exactly the evidence that you would need to prove in a wrongful termination suit. And similarly at the FBI, this is a move that we see in a lot of countries that are headed towards illiberal governance, is an attempt to essentially co-opt domestic law enforcement and install loyalists. Well, by essentially trying to have a mass purge of any of the hundreds or even thousands of agents that worked on these January 6 cases, I think it's hard to believe that anybody at the FBI is particularly enthused about this administration or what it means for the future of the agency.